Applications of Pascal's law. So where we are applying this concept in our daily life. The first one is a hydraulic lift. So what is this hydraulic lift? The hydraulic lift consists of two cylinders here. So this is a first cylinder. And this is one more cylinder whose area is more, and these two cylinders are connected with the help of a narrow tube here at their bottom. So these are the two cylinders, and these two cylinders consists of two pistons. So this is a piston one, this is second piston having more cross-sectional area. So these are the two cylinders connected with a small pipe at the bottom, and these are the two pistons provided here. Just like in our injection syringe also, we have a cylinder here and inside we have a piston. Now here, after filling the medicine here, we will inject this into the patient's body by moving this piston into the cylinder. So this is the cylindrical portion of the injection. Similar to this one, this is a cylinder and this is a piston. Here the piston will have one knob or one projection here to press this one. So as it enters into this one, it will push this medicine into the patient's body. Here also these pistons are provided with some projections like this, and this is the handle that is provided at the top. Similarly, on the other side also, this is also will have one stand, and it will have a bigger platform. Now this is the arrangement of hydraulic lift. So here what we are going to do, if you want to lift a car, it is not easy for us by using our single hand or with our two hands. So now if you keep the car here on this platform, so by applying a small force here, so I am going to use a small force F here on a small area. This is small area on which the force is acting here. So these two cylinders are filled with some liquid. So I am going to fill this with liquid. Now if we apply force on this particular area, that means a pressure will be created here, P1. As this liquid is at rest, the liquid is not moving within this one because this is enclosed by two pistons on both sides. So the liquid is at rest and also enclosed. That's why the increase in pressure at a particular point will be distributed equally in all directions. So what is the pressure that is acting on this piston here? So this is also P only. If it is P, this will also P. Now let me take this point at which the pressure increased is 1, and this point where the pressure can be seen will be 2. So according to Pascal's law, what we can write, pressure at point 1 will be equal to the pressure at point 2. So what is meant by pressure? This is the force exerted by us per unit or some area A, where A is the cross-sectional area of the first piston. So this must be equal to the force on the second piston by area of the second piston. You can see this diagram. Always the hydraulic lift will be designed such that the cross-sectional area of the first piston will be less, whereas the cross-sectional area of the second piston will be more. Now here, what is the force applied by us? So the force applied by us, let us say this is 100 newtons, and what is the area of this one? Let us say it is a small area, 1 meter square. So what is the pressure created at point 1 or increase in pressure? This is equal to 100 Newton per meter square. So what is the pressure created at point 2? This is also 100 Newton per meter square. So what I am going to write? If the cross sectional area of the second piston is let us say 200 meter square, then how much force we can lift on that one? Not only car, any body. Now, so from this what we can write? Force, this is an example, so this is the actual formula. From this force that or weight or load that can be lifted, load that can be lifted by this hydraulic lift is given by, this is the force to be lifted, F. So this force is given by force applied by area of cross section into this one. The same thing here, this will be this into this. So what is the force that can be applied? Force applied 100 cross section area 1 into the cross section area this one. So this will be 2 into 10 power 4 newtons. So this will be 20,000 newtons force can be lifted by using a small 100 newtons force. That means if you want to lift this one to make some repairing works or to wash these cars, generally you can see this in service centers, they will apply a small force here to lift a big car. So car can be lifted very easily by applying a small force here. So this is a very good machine that works on this Pascal's law, and we call it as a hydraulic lift. Here in hydraulic brakes, so this is our feet and this is the brake pedal that we are using in cars, in all automobiles. So if we press, that means if you apply some force on this one, what happens? It has a lever system and this force will be transmitted to here. This force or the pressure created at this point, because here I am applying some force on a small area, so pressure will be created here. This increase in pressure can be seen here. So this pressure will distribute throughout this fluid. So this is the front wheel of our car. Let us say back wheel is somewhere here. So now this pressure will flow in all possible directions because it is a closed chamber and this liquid is at rest. When it is pressed here, when it is pressed, this pressure will be created and this pressure will be created here as well as here. So the pressure, whatever the pressure that we are applying on the brake will be distributed to this piston as well as this piston. And this piston, this pressure will apply some force on this one. Due to this force, this brake shoe, you might have studied about this one or you might have heard about this brake shoe. This brake shoe will press this wheel, so that this is the rim of the wheel. So when it is pressed, the acceleration will be reduced here, or the velocity of the vehicle will be reduced. So on both sides. So when these brake shoes are in contact with this one, so they will stop the vehicle or they will reduce the motion or they will reduce the velocity of this one. In this case also, the concept is the increase in pressure. So this one, the increase in pressure at any point of the enclosed liquid at rest. Here we are applying force on the brake pedal. This force will be transmitted here and this force will act on this area of this piston. So pressure will be created here. This will be distributed to all the four wheels of the vehicle or the car, as because here I am just showing only one side of this one. This is front wheel and somewhere here we have a back wheel here, rear wheel, and on other side also this brake oil will be used in that side also, on the other side of the car, so that these will press these brake shoes so that the velocity of this one can be reduced by applying a small force. The weight of the car is too large, in 800 or 1000 kgs, and it is having some acceleration, and the force with which it is going will be too large, but we are not going to apply that much force here, we are applying a small force. So here also same concept similar to the hydraulic lift. In hydraulic brakes also we are using the same concept, that is Pascal's law. And the third application of Pascal's law is hydraulic press. Here also, to have these containers, cooking vessels that we are using in our house, so these vessels generally they will keep this stainless steel plate like this, and they will use a big press here. So this will be pushed with a large force, but this is actually connected to a liquid container, and here if you apply a small force on this piston, as the area is too large, and here the pressure will be same, the pressure created here is P, the pressure produced here P, this is force by area, as it is area is large, more force will be acting on this one. So when it press comes, this pushes this one, and this will come into this structure. So this is how we will get these glasses. So this plate can be converted into this shape by applying a large force by using this hydraulic press, and the principle behind the working of hydraulic press is also Pascal's law only. Now, if you want to find out pressure which is at rest by taking the gravity into consideration, generally if you consider one container here which is filled with some liquid, here the pressure due to the weight of the liquid, how to find the pressure due to the weight of the liquid? Weight is equal to mass into acceleration due to gravity. That means if you consider the gravity, how we can write this one? So to find out that one, what I am going to take, I am going to consider a small cylindrical column of the liquid here, the imaginary cylindrical column. So this is an imaginary cylindrical column. So this is the imaginary cylindrical column like this. So here, if you consider this imaginary cylindrical column, that means I am taking this much liquid only. Even though the entire tank is filled with liquid, I am considering that only this portion of the liquid is present in this case. Now, due to this, what is the pressure at different points? So let me take this point as 1 and this point as 2, and here this liquid is filled up to this level. This is the level of the liquid in the container. Now, if you consider this, in this case, what is the pressure at point 1? The pressure at point 1 due to this liquid only is given by pressure is given by force by area. So what is the force that is acting here? At this point 1, the total weight of the liquid is acting here. So I am going to write this force is nothing but weight of the liquid in that liquid column by area of cross section of that liquid column. So this is the area of cross section of the liquid column. So which is given by mass is equal to, we know, density is equal to mass by volume. You can write mass as density into volume into G by A. So pressure can be written as rho. What is volume of that column here? This is in the cylindrical shape. So this is area into height of this liquid column, which we can write as H into G by A. You can cancel this and this. The pressure of the liquid column here is given by rho GH. We know that when we are standing here, the air is exerting some force on our body. So what is the force exerted by atmosphere on our body? We call it as atmospheric pressure. So what is the pressure exerted by atmosphere on our body? We know that as it is a fluid always apply force normal to our body. So pressure is acting like this, force is acting like here. In this case, force is acting perpendicular to this surface. Here it is perpendicular to the surface. Here it is perpendicular to the surface. Here it is perpendicular to the surface here. So the air is exerting pressure in all directions on my body, but always perpendicular to my body. Here, what is the pressure of the air that is acting on human beings? So to find out the atmospheric pressure, I am going to use this concept. So pressure of atmosphere, or we call it as atmospheric pressure, which is given by density of pressure, acceleration due to gravity into height here. So what is the density of pressure? That is 1.29 kg per meter cube. This is the density. And the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8. But what is the height of this atmospheric air? So if you take, this is our earth. If you stand here, the atmosphere is spread up to some height. This is the envelope of air around the earth. So we call this as atmosphere. Even though this atmosphere is spread up to 400 kilometers nearly, but while calculating this height of the atmosphere on the surface of this earth, the maximum air will be spread only up to 8 kilometers only. After that, the quantity of mass of the air per unit volume, that is density, is very, very less. So that's why we are going to write this value as, this is 8 kilometers, that is 8,000 meters. Now, if you multiply these three, this will be 1.29 into 9.8 into 8,000. So this is around 10135 Newton per meter square. This is how you can find the atmospheric pressure. Throughout this lesson, we are going to denote this pressure as P naught, which is equal to 1.0135 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square, or also called Pascal. So this is the atmospheric pressure. Remember students, once I am telling, the atmosphere is spread up to 400 kilometers, but as you move away from the earth, the density of air gradually decreases. That's why the average height of the air from here to here will be taken as 8 kilometers. So by using these values, you can find this value as 1.0135 into 10 power 5 pascals. Now here, if you come to this topic, now what is the pressure of a liquid with gravity? This is by considering the gravity, pressure can be calculated by using density into acceleration due to gravity into height of that liquid column or fluid column. Now here, if you consider this one, in this, not only the pressure due to this liquid column is acting at this point, this pressure, the liquid which is present just above this column, the cylinder column, is also acting on this one, and also the atmospheric pressure is acting. So what is the total pressure at 1? Total pressure at point 1 is given by pressure due to this liquid column, pressure due to this liquid column, pressure due to atmosphere. So let me take from here to here, let us say this is H1. From here to here, let us say this is H2. So what is the pressure at point 1? Pressure due to this height plus pressure due to atmosphere. So pressure at point 1 is given by pressure due to atmosphere, that is P naught, plus rho g into height, that is rho g, height is equal to H1. Similarly, what is total pressure at 2? Total pressure at point 2, which is given by P2. So here, what is the forces that are acting here? The weight of this liquid, which is just above the cylindrical portion, plus atmospheric pressure. So once again, I have to write this as P naught plus rho g H2. So now, what is the pressure due to this cylindrical portion? So this pressure due to pressure due to only this cylindrical portion. So this is a pressure due to cylindrical air column, imaginary cylindrical air column. So this is given by pressure here minus pressure here. So this pressure is given by P1 minus P2. At 1 pressure will be more. Why? Because pressure due to atmosphere plus pressure due to this weight is acting. At 2 pressure is less. Atmosphere pressure plus pressure due to this air column. So I am subtracting these two, that is P1 minus P2, this minus this. If you subtract this minus this, P0 get cancelled. This is rho G H1 minus H, because rho G H1 minus rho G H2. So this pressure is given by rho G. What is H1 minus H2? This is H1, this is H2. This is given by the actual height of that imaginary cylindrical portion. So this also, here also we are getting the same concept. So pressure due to any liquid column is given by, so finally pressure due to any liquid column due to a liquid column of height h is given by rho gh. Very simple. Pressure is equal density of that air column or liquid column. Here I am taking liquid column. Instead of liquid, if you write air, we will get this value. So density of that fluid, acceleration due to gravity, height of that fluid at that point. So by using this one, we can calculate pressure at any point due to a fluid which is at rest. Here, let us say the pressure at this is 100 Newton per meter square. Pressure here is 25 Newton per meter square. If we know the liquid here, we can find out the density of this liquid. Why? Because we need to take the pressure difference. Here also, while finding this one, I am finding the pressure difference between these two. So the pressure difference in this case is given by rho GH. So in this case, what is the pressure difference? 100 minus 25. 100 minus 25 is equal to, density is unknown, G 9.8, but you can take it as 10. Let us say height from here to here is 10 meters. So this is 10. So what is this value? This will be 75, which is equal to rho into 100. Density is equal to 75 by 100. So 0.75 kg per meter cube. This is how you can find the density of any fluid if you know the pressure difference here. Similarly, when we are swimming in a river, so this is the river water. When we are swimming on the top, let us say we are swimming here on the surface of this one. So generally only the atmospheric pressure will act here. But at the same time, the liquid which is in contact with you will apply force perpendicular to your body from all sides except from the top. From top, the air will exert pressure, but from all other sides, the liquid or the water will exert pressure here. Due to this, what happens? More pressure acts on our body, which will try to compress our body. So due to the compression, even the lungs cannot have that much pressure, so they cannot create the pressure difference for the air to go inside our lungs. So during this time, what happens? We need to breathe more. That means we need to try to take more air into our body. So it is possible if you are swimming on the surface, as the pressure due to the liquid on all sides is less. Let us say we are swimming inside this one, inside the river. Then what happens? Here pressure is atmospheric pressure, but pressure due to liquid, and this is very negligible. But what about the pressure here? Here the pressure is the atmospheric pressure plus pressure due to this liquid column which is present on the top surface of the person, which is given by rho GH. So when compared to the pressure on the top surface, pressure inside the canal or sea or river, whatever it may be, even in canal, as the height of the liquid column above the person is more, so the pressure on the person will be more. That's why it is very difficult for any person to dive or to swim inside water at a depth. So that's why, especially these divers who are swimming inside these seas, you can see in a Discovery Channel as well as in a National Geographic Channel, when they are swimming inside, generally they carry these oxygen cylinders. Why? Because when the pressure on our lungs is more, these lungs cannot expand that much and they cannot take the required amount of air that is useful for us, compulsory for us survival, for our survival. That's why in this case these oxygen cylinders can give required amount of air or oxygen to the lungs so that the person can swim easily. Without the supply of this excess pressure to our lungs, lungs will collapse there and the person will die there itself. As the person is going to come to the top, generally what happens, they will reduce the amount of pressure required that is given by these oxygen cylinders. So when they comes to this position, the amount of the oxygen that is supplied to the person will be negligible or maybe zero. So if they make like that, then the person can stand and he can walk easily. Otherwise what happens, if we take the same amount of air here also, the lungs will bulge too much and the person will die as soon as he comes to the surface of the river.